Now, flooding has become a recurring challenge in Nigeria, often displacing thousands, destroying farmlands, and cutting off essential infrastructures. In its latest flood alert, the federal government has warned of possible devastation in 15 states, including Adamawa, Bauchi, Nasarawa, Kebbi, among others. Now, this comes as the National Emergency Management Agency said more than 140,000 people in 21 states have been affected by floods so far in 2025. While the agency says it's already working with state governments to prepare evacuation plans, stockpile relief materials, and deploy rescue teams, they are also appealing to residents to take early action, move to higher ground, and closely monitor official advisories. Now, joining us from our Abuja studio for this conversation is the MD CEO, MacPress West Africa, and an environmentalist, Idowu Salau, joins us in the studio. Good morning. How are you doing? Live from our Abuja studio. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
I'm good. How's it going?
Environmental consultant.
Exactly. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. But we'll begin with the flood story. You know, we've been hearing a lot of talks about it, and the government has been saying, you know, move to higher grounds, move to higher grounds. One will argue, where are these higher grounds? Are they giving these people higher grounds to move to, or they're just telling them to move to? Also, people are talking about the fact that, have we learned from the Mokwa flood? Have we learned from it? Do we keep talking, and at the end of the day, we do not see, you know, things that are being done, things that are being put in place to make sure that this does not happen again? But another thing that really, you know, beats me and what people are talking about is the government keeps saying move to higher ground, move to higher ground. But are they providing these higher grounds for the people?
I'm happy you are speaking from Lagos. The higher ground in Lagos, I will tell you. Ogudu is one of the highest area in Lagos. Correct. Magodo, your former station. Correct. Another higher ground in Lagos. So maybe all Lagosians will now move to Ogudu and Magodo to avoid the devastating effect of flooding. Maybe that's what the government is saying. But on a lighter move. Yeah. This is a very serious situation. Yeah. I will give you an instance of maybe an historical background of the devastating effect of flooding since 2010 in Nigeria. If you remember the flooding in 2012 and 2022, within a span of 10 years, that was when we have the most devastating flooding event. In 2012, the number of people displaced by flooding that time was about 7.7 million. And we recorded over 360-something deaths. Houses, millions of houses were destroyed, farmland destroyed. Then come to 2022, over 1.3 million people displaced, 100 of lives lost.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
2024, just last year, you remember the Alao Dam problem, the flooding aftermath of the destruction of the Alao Dam. 600,000 people were displaced, over 200 people death recorded. Now, this year alone, you just gave us the statistics, the Mokwa example. In fact, one of the devastating effects of Mokwa one is that the infrastructure that were destroyed, rail line, the Nigerian Railway cannot operate that single track now, the legacy line, rail corridor that will be moving, that's supposed to be moving container from the south to the north. This year flooding has wreaked havoc on that rail line corridor between Mokwa and Jeba. Now, to restore that, why are we going to wait until this havoc is being wreaked? We now start looking at solution to it. Why don't we prevent it? So this is what I would just advise. Why I'm giving you all these statistics is just for the policymaker to know that the devastating effect is getting too much, and we need to do something.
Yes.
So though government is trying their best by giving early warning sign, prediction, yes, this is part of flood prevention measure that you need to put in place. But what of how to mitigate the effect of this flooding when it happens? Because flood is natural disaster. And every day we are building roads, every day we are building houses, we are reducing the space of where the natural soil can absorb the excess water.
Okay.
This is another thing we don't look into. Apart from throwing garbage on our drainage system, apart from building on our drainage system, apart from not adhering to building code, all these are factors that are bringing in this, including every rainfall. So, where do we go from here? That's the question I keep asking.
Yes, and it looks as if we all need some kind of mental revolution when it comes to this flood prevention thing. The government has its part to play, and the people have their part to play. Now, I am wondering why we are so reactive. Before the Mokwa incident, the Niger State government had some monies that was given to them for flood control or for ecological reasons. I know that we have ecological funds being distributed to states. How come state governments have not been held responsible for not using those funds the way they should?
I hope you know the operation of the Ecological Project Office. They are now Ecological Project Office. They are no more Ecological Fund Office. The reason for this is just to be an intervention fund. It's an intervention fund, but I think that office needs a surgical operation. They need to overhaul that office. Even though they disburse this money monthly, it goes along with monthly allocation for the state government. Who is monitoring what the state government use this money for? Who is monitoring it? What project are they using it for? Even the project, the federal government allocation part, allocated, the federal government part of the money of the ecological fund, the project they are carrying out in different states, who is monitoring it? Who is designing it? Of what measure is it being, what is being considered before they design this, the project for? But don't forget, ecological problem is not only flooding. There are so many areas of intervention that ecological funds could be channeled into. Waste management is there, erosion control is there, flooding is there. So all these state governments, I think what we should first do is to carry out post-impact assessment study of the flooding. By the time it recedes, let's carry out post-impact assessment study. Let's know which area need intervention of ecological fund. I'll give you an example of that Mokwa one. The rail corridor, about 2 or 3 kilometers of the rail line, the single track rail corridor of Mokwa Jeba is washed away already. So that's one prone area. This is to give us an insight that we need to carry out erosion, flood, and stability control assessment study of all our rail corridor system in our railway line. If not, more flood will erode most of this infrastructure that we have put in place. Again, there is a particular culvert in that Mokwa town that was totally destroyed. So the water is just flowing at its own, no channelization. So all this has to be put in place. Somebody has to now go into maybe drawing board back and see what are these state government or government, what are they using this ecological fund for? So that we can now say the intervention of federal government is now being achieved by releasing the money to them. But if they are not using it the right way, I think the federal government should just concentrate in executing these projects by themselves.